And that's going to turn into a lot of comfort, for the occupants, or a lot of uncomfort if it's not done right. So again, checking this when you get it is very important. And this gives you a lot of control over your purchasing process. Okay, so I talk about having the make and model numbers on the proposal, and what are you going to do with that? You could certainly decipher your equipment size off of model numbers. It's very easy to do. Again, most model numbers will have the number 24 in it. If it's 2 tons, it'll have the number 12, it'll have the number 18. If you're dealing with an older unit and you can't read maybe the model number for some reason, you could actually go by your amps. There should be an RLA plate on there. So anywhere between 5 and 8 will indicate 1 ton. So you could look at the amperage on the piece of equipment and derive the tonnage from that. So there's a lot of information in those model numbers, and that will disclose or open up that your outside condenser is being matched properly to your indoor coil. Because if it's not, it will actually, again, cause a lot of maintenance issues with the piece of equipment. So when you verify the correct coil to condenser matching request that your rater is going to ask for, and in order to achieve the efficiency rating on the piece of equipment, you need an ARI rating sheet. So this is something that you don't necessarily have to look at, but you want to maybe query the contractor and make sure that he's looked at this before he's purchased the equipment on your behalf. Here's your model numbers for your AC equipment, and these are all the different coils that will work with this model number in order to achieve the system efficiency that you're targeting, or that the manufacturer has intended. Just one thing to notice, this TDR section, that has a lot to do with efficiency. It's time delay relay. And when you see yes, that actually is probably a more efficient system than the ones that don't have it, just because of the technology that's involved in TDR. So if you're actually going to look at these, that's good to look at. But this is something that you can find on the manufacturer's website. If you go to the product specification sheet, you go to the model number, you can get right to this chart, and you can review this with your contractor. Ask him if he's reviewed this. Another source would be a website, the ARI website. You could plug in, say, the outdoor condenser model number, and you could query the database, and the matching coils, a list of matching coils will come up. And if nothing comes up, or maybe you put in the indoor coil number and the outdoor condenser number and nothing comes up, then they're mismatched. So right there you have a red flag. So before the system is actually installed, you could stop the contractor and say, wait a second, are you sure that those coils are designed, that coil is designed to work with that outside condenser? It's very important, because if you have a forced hot air system, what a contractor will often do, or it's easy to do, is to size a coil to fit the plenum for the furnace. And that's not necessarily the way it should be done. So you've done your due diligence, you've decided on a contractor, you're comfortable with the contractor, but you have this issue of commissioning and startup, quality installation verification, or QIV. This is the icing on top of the cake. Again, to be done after the home is occupied. That system really needs to be tweaked out by somebody who knows how to take certain measurements using very specific diagnostic tools, and then adjust the system based on the readings of those tests that he's performing. So not every installer knows how to do a commissioning. They may not even offer that service. So then what do? You have a favorite contractor, he's done all this work, he's installed the system, you know, you have to pay somebody to come and do a proper commissioning or startup. Not necessarily. There's a great program in Massachusetts. It's the Cool Smart program. It's a utility-sponsored program. It's available to NGrid and NSTAR customers. They're working on expanding, but right now it's NGrid and NSTAR. And they have a program, it's called the QIV program, where they've actually trained technicians, and the utility sponsors pay those technicians to go out there and do a QIV. They check and adjust the airflow, they measure the static pressure, they check and adjust the refrigerant charge, and they actually can provide a report or provide information on the amount of energy that they have just saved by making these adjustments as best that can possibly be done with the particular system that they're dealing with. So how do you get this type of service? Well, if you go to the website, you'll see all that this program offers. Like I said, they support the program by training contractors and actually certifying them as QIV technicians. So there's a great list of contractors that know how to do QIV, and they also know how to do duct sealing. They most recently started implementing to a portion of their program what's called ESQI, Energy Star Quality Installation. And this is very focused on ducts, duct sealing, targeting areas of leakage. This is not only for residential new construction, but also for existing homes, where they'll try to bring the duct leakage down. So there's a very strong contractor base here that really knows what they're doing. So if you're not really happy with your contractor, or you've identified the fact that they don't do some of the things that maybe you've decided you're going to start doing with the roadmap and your scope of work, then take a look at this list and solicit some estimates. Some of them, a lot of them do residential new construction installs, so you might be pleasantly surprised at what you can get.